Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a doll that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I didn't really feel like the most confident to do it until recently, and that is a Decora Kei doll. So, of course, this is inspired by mozekyto, dollightful, doll motion, moonlight jewel, doll for heart. I will link all of those people's Decora Kei dolls down below. You guys should check them out because they're all like really cool and unique and stuff. The thing that I like about this fashion is that it's kind of chaotic, which sounds like probably a bad thing at first, but I feel like it translates really well to doll form. If you guys are completely confused and you don't know what Decora Kei is, according to Google, it is a Japanese fashion style focused around using large amounts of colorful accessories, such as hair clips, necklaces, and pins. It's a loud, colorful aesthetic. Decora Kei is such a happy fashion style, so I chose an Ever After High doll because they have such sweet little face molds. I also just really like Ever After High dolls. If you guys didn't know, I love repainting them. But I chose Darling Charming specifically because she has a smiling face mold, and also because she has a medium complexion, which I specifically wanted for this doll. Darling Charming is actually one of my favorite Ever After High dolls. I just think she's so pretty. She like reminds me of a Barbie since like she has the blonde hair and the tan skin and like the blue eyes and stuff. But a Barbie that they like printed onto like a big Ever After High head. I just really like it for some reason. On to prepping the doll. So we're cutting all her hair off, and then I heat up her head with a blow dryer to pop her head off. Take a screwdriver and like scrape around the inside of her head to get all her hair plugs out, and take the hair plugs out through the neck hole with pliers. To remove the paint on the face, I just use 100% acetone, and there goes her cute little Barbie face. This is so sad. Now on to rerooting. So we're going to be rerooting with this like cotton candy colored 100% acrylic yarn. I decided to paint her head pink because there's so many different colors in this yarn that I just honestly chose the one that I like the most. In retrospect, I should have painted her head white because it would have just made more sense. But I went with pink. It ends up looking okay though. So I'm just painting it. You do this because it makes the hair look thicker when you're done rerooting. This is the yarn that I chose. It's very like cotton candy Eastery. I prepped it how I normally do. If you guys want to know how I do that, I will link a video down below. To reroot with yarn, I take a little tiny piece of it, and then I take my reroot tool. I take it at the tippy top. I kind of wrap it around the reroot tool, and then I plunge it into the head. This is how I personally reroot with yarn. There's tons of different methods though for like yarn rerooting. This is just the one that works the best for me. To set all that hours and hours worth of work in place, I take my faber glue and I just squeeze it kind of violently in through the neck hole. I let that sit for about a day, and then it's on to the face up. To get the doll ready to blush and draw on, I spray her with 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear, waiting 15 minutes between each spray for it to dry. Mr. Super Clear is pretty toxic. I use a respirator mask, goggles, gloves, and long sleeves when I spray it. Toxic chemicals aside though, we're going on to the face up. So I always start with the eyes because I think it's the funnest part of the face to paint, but also I think it's one of the most important parts to kind of try really hard with, because the first thing that your eyes look at on a face are eyes, usually. At least I think that's the first thing I look at. So I always look at eyes on a face up. I always kind of like admire them if they're really well done. Or it's really like what impresses me the most when I really like face ups. I feel like I'm really drawn to that area. So I try really hard with it, trying to make them even, try to make them very detailed. So yeah, I just really like painting the shit out of some eyes, you know? So moving on, I also like to add tons and tons of blush to my dolls, just all over their face. It looks a little bit crazy right now, but I swear it'll come together by the end. I attempted to give this doll a fuchsia lip, because it's Decora Kei and it's all colorful and stuff, but it ended up just looking how the like usual red that I usually use for face up, so whoopsie daisies. I attempted to give this doll yellow eyeshadow, and I applied tons of yellow pastels to her lids, but it ends up sort of just looking like she has nothing on her lids by the time I'm done this face up. But I did try, because I was trying to lean into the whole like colorful makeup thing that Decora Kei has going on. Whoopsie daisies. I don't know. I should have paid more attention to it, honestly. I don't really quite know, though, why I chose a fuchsia lip and yellow eyeshadow. I don't think I would do that in real life, like if I was applying makeup, but I did for this doll for some reason. Anyway, moving on to veins. I like to add veins all over the face. It's just what I like to do. So I add kind of little branch-like pencil marks around the brow bone, underneath the eyes, and the forehead. Another thing that I'm quite obsessed with lately is freckles on dolls, so I cover up her eyes with tissues and then I splatter brown and purple just speckles all over her face. It looks like freckles and I really like it. When I apply highlights to the doll's face, it always looks very intense initially, but once you spray it with Mr. Super Clear, it really does dull it down, so just letting you guys know. She doesn't look quite that highlighted by the time we're done. For her irises, I ended up doing a pink to yellow gradient. I kind of wish I would have just made her eyes pink, though, honestly, because the pink barely shows through by the time I'm done with her eyes. And I've been doing a lot of yellow eyes recently, and I just think pink would have suited her a little bit better. At this point in the face-up, I start adding in the sharper highlight lines and also the sharper definition lines with browns, purples, creams, and whites. I wanted to go with a very specific eyebrow shape, which I can only describe as the sweet girl, slanty, perpetually concerned eyebrows. I figured if any doll needed just tons and tons of glitter, it's this one, so I apply tons of macro pearlex pigment all over her face. For lashes, I go in with a super sharp black pencil. To add to the gradient that I started in her eyes, I take a Q-tip and pink pastels, and I put that right on the very top of her eyes, and then I go in with a bit of yellow pastel on the bottom to emphasize the gradient. At this point in the face up, I'm basically done adding pencils, so I start going in with paint in certain areas to build up and add definition and color. Something that I like to do is draw in the eye shines with pencil before I go in with paint, which I think you guys can see. I'm going over it with paint now. I just feel like this helps me with like figuring out what shape I want for my eye shines, and also it gives it a bit of a translucent look next to the intense paint, which I don't know if you can see while I'm doing the face up, but you can kind of see in person, and I just like how it looks. To give her lashes some extra va-va-voom, I added some metallic purple lines on top of her black lashes. Now for the little pastel hearts and stars on her face. So this is a very common just detail in Decora Kei makeup. If you Google Decora Kei, a lot of the girls have just stickers, or I guess they draw hearts and stuff on their face. I think it's adorable, so I added it to her face. Finally, time to gloss her. So I took some Vallejo gloss varnish and added that to her lips. I added it to her eyes after I took photos because it's really hard to photograph gloss. Now onto her outfit. So I chose to make her a tiered ruffly overall outfit with a t-shirt underneath, socks, and a fluffy pastel jacket. So that's what we're going for. The first thing that I chose to do was I cut out the pattern and then I gather stitched the skirt portion of the overalls. For the tiers of the skirt, I gather stitched this like rainbowy kind of meshy fabric, and I also gather stitched the lace tier. And then I took the sequin tier and I sewed that to the top of the skirt. I then sewed the remaining 2 tiers to the skirt. And then I sewed the top of the overalls to the skirt, good side to good side. And then I sewed the overalls up the side to good side. The footage that I'm showing you guys is actually the first attempt at these overalls. I had to make them twice because the first attempt was a bit too short and I had to add another tier. So you guys will see that in a second. See this right here? I ended up remaking them because it was just a little bit too short, too super short. So I just had to redo them, and I like them better like this actually. To complete her overalls, I sewed the straps on and also sewed snaps onto the back and gave her green ribbon around the trim of the skirt. And then I sewed a super simple shirt to go underneath the overalls. To give her t-shirt a red trim around the neckline and the sleeves, I just painted that on with acrylic paint and a super tiny brush. Her overalls needed some more bedazzling, so I painted a star on the top of her overalls with yellow acrylic paint. Now onto my personal favorite part of this outfit, and that is this pastel jacket. For a jacket, this is faux fur that I got from my local craft store. I got the pattern for this jacket from Blank Space Dolls. I will link him down below. He also makes YouTube videos and they're amazing. But the way that he helps you get this pattern is just super, I don't know, it's super helpful. And I feel like the method that he uses, you can apply to any doll, really. Like if you have a 17-inch doll, or if you have a Barbie doll and you want to make her a furry jacket, he just explains it in a really simple way. So I'll definitely link that video that I got the pattern from and just his YouTube channel down below. I decided that I wanted her star to be glittery, so glittery it shall be. I applied tons of glue to it, and then I shook some glitter on top of it. It's time to break out the decorations. So, Decora Kei is very decorative, so we had to decorate her overalls. I'm taking a hot glue gun. I got cabochons. What are these called? Cabochons? I don't know. These little charm things, they're like flat back. I got those. I got puff balls. I got little fruit things that are very tiny. And I'm just gluing everything to these overalls. It's very confusing while you're doing this because it all feels very extra. But the thing with Decora Kei is that it is very extra. So if you're like, oh, maybe this is too much, it's probably not too much. Those are my tiny fruit things, by the way. I also made her socks. I made the socks out of baby socks. I have like a ton of baby socks because I made a beanie out of it a while ago. For a doll, you make beanies out of baby socks as well, but I made her socks out of baby socks. I bought this pack of pastel beads off Amazon, and I made her a necklace. To give her more options for her barrettes in her hair, I am sketching out some shapes that I'm going to cut out and glue to her head. I actually totally forgot that I got these from Daiso. They're like these little hair things, and they go so well with this project. I'm like so excited that I actually bought them. I found them in like my little craft stack thing. But I'm giving her some pigtails, just some simple little pigtails, because I'm really bad at hair. So that's the real reason. But it also lends to her sweet, slanty eyebrowed Decora Kei aesthetic. Now for shoes. So these shoes are actually Blythe shoes that I got from AliExpress. And I'm gluing some of these capuchins to them. Capuchons? I don't know. But we're hot gluing some stuff to them. I really like how blushing the body looks on my dolls, so I prepped the body by sanding off the panties, and then I went in with the same tones that I used on the face for the body. I also gave this doll Madeline Hatter's hands because I just thought that it went well with her whole theme. After her body's blushed, I heated up her head and put her head back on her body. For her hair accessories, I think a lot of people would have just like glued all this stuff to pins and then pinned the stuff into her head, but I just didn't want to do that. So I took some super glue and I just super glued all the bows, the capuchins, whatever they are, barrettes, and gems to her head. And after all of that, my friends, she is done. And I forgot to put her fluffy jacket in this shot, and it's really bothering me. But anyway, she's done. I like how she turned out. I think she turned out really cute. I think everyone should make a Decora Kei doll. It's just really fun. I want to thank, oh my god, just Moonlight Jewel, Dollightful, Doll for Heart, mozekyto, Doll Motion, just everyone who's made a Decora Kei doll for inspiring me to make this video. And I hope you guys really liked her. I really like how she turned out. It was a very uncomfortable process making this doll because she is just so extra. She got everything and the kitchen sink on top of her clothes, but it was really fun like stepping out of my comfort zone. So if you guys like her, let me know. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe, it makes me happy. And I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Bye!